Firstly, guys, I would like to apologise about the fact that I did say I was going to do my October favourites this weekend. However, that's not going to be the case. I hopefully will try and get it done next weekend instead. Instead, I want to talk about something that happens every day to women. Obviously, we've had the Harvey Weinstein shit hitting the press lately, and over in the UK we've had sexual predators exposed as well, and the situation that occurred last night hit home so much with me that it really has got to me, I guess. Question for you. I know most of my subscribers are female, but I'm sure there must be some of you that are male, so maybe you might be able to answer this question for me. What is it? What is it with men that after some alcohol has entered their system, why they seem to turn into the sexual predators that they do? What possesses men to think that they have the right to speak to a woman like she's nothing more than a sexual object, that the only thing she's good for is lying on her back and opening her legs and lying there and pretending it's all good for England? Someone please explain to me what enters a man's brain and makes him think that it's okay for him to speak to a woman like that. Because I tell you what, for the life of me, and I'm an old bigger as it is, I cannot understand why this still occurs in this time that we live in. Maybe I'm just really angry because I'm a mom and it's my daughter that this happened to, and all I really want to do is find out who these people were, hunt them down and slash their fucking throats open. So angry, so angry. My daughter went out last night. I think what made the situation worse was because she'd had a fair old bit to drink. But who doesn't go out and get drunk, That's the whole point in going out sometimes, isn't it? However, by the time she came to leave in the nightclub, when she went to go and collect her belongings, she was only given a handbag. Once she'd got outside, then she'd realised she hadn't got a jacket, which contained the keys and a phone. They wouldn't let her back in the club to get the jacket. They said, we're closing, tough shit. And whether she made it aware to them or not, I don't know, she hasn't stated, but they left a vulnerable young woman outside a nightclub on her own, where she was being leered at. She had people leeching over her, making inappropriate comments towards her. So she had no option. She, thinking that she'd lost everything, had to walk home. I have to admit, it's not the first time that Jess has walked home from the town centre on her own late at night. After this, I've made her promise me she will never do it again. She was about halfway home when she was approached by 7, I won't call them men, I won't call them boys, animals. That's what they were animals. They were grabbing at her, tugging at her, trying to basically get her to go with them. She knew herself this was a situation that she could see turning nasty. So she pushed them off her and she ran. Now, if she'd got a phone with her, she would have called me, but she was under the impression she'd lost it. Meanwhile, I'm completely unaware that this is happening to my daughter because I'm in bed, fast asleep. Just after 4 o'clock in the morning, I can hear somebody tapping at my front door. And I'm just thinking, I ignore it, it's just probably the wind. And it kept tapping and it kept tapping. And I'm like, no, there's somebody definitely at the front door. So I go downstairs and it's Jess. And she stood there with no jacket on, shivering. And she literally threw herself at me. Jess isn't a cuddly, huggy person. But my God, she needed a cuddle. My first reaction is, what's wrong? What's happened? Where's your coat? Jess, you froze. Come in. I brought her into the house and shut the door and took her into the living room. And she's blurting out all this stuff at me. And I'm thinking, oh my God, she's been attacked. Somebody hurt her. My head was spinning. I really was like, what the hell has gone on? I'm like checking her over, making sure that nobody's touched her, nobody's hurt her, nobody's done anything to her. And I think it was just literally a case of they were trying, groping and stuff like that. And yeah, she literally did push them off when she ran. Scared us both silly. I mean, I've actually sent messages to the nightclub via Facebook and via email stating to them that, my daughter was in there. She's come turning up on my doorstep, not been able to get in the house because she hasn't got a key. She wasn't able to call home because she hadn't got a phone. She had no jacket on, so somewhere in your nightclub is my daughter's belongings. Luckily for Jess as well, when she'd sobered up this morning and woke up after falling asleep, she actually knows the assistant manager that works there, so she's also messaged him and asked him to check the club to see if they can find a jacket and hopefully a key. Because luckily for my daughter, it turned out her friend Ben had a phone. Well, actually, what Ben told me was when he actually brought it back earlier, he dropped it off home. See, I kept ringing it. And I'm a bit old-fashioned because I've got just a bog standard simple Samsung. I don't seem to realise that with iPhones you have to put a password that you can actually lock it, and then the only way you can access it is if you put your password in. So that was the case. Whoever it was that had the phone couldn't answer it anyway because I couldn't unlock it to do so. Ben reckons that whilst in the club, Jess asked a friend of his called Nathan to look after her phone while she either went to the bar or went to the toilet. Now, Jess is absolutely adamant. When she went out last night, she had no intentions of going out clubbing. She'd actually made plans to go and meet her friends and her little baby boy and go and watch the fireworks in the local community park we have in the town. And then after that, she must have bumped into Ben and his girlfriend Alina, and it was Ben's birthday, so they were like, come out with us for a bit, and off she went. So Jess was literally wearing a woolly bobble hat, a blue denim jacket with the fur interior. She had big thick black tights on, a big cuddly green jumper, and a black dungaree kind of type dress. Oh yeah, Jess wasn't actually she wasn't dressed up to the nine. She wasn't. Yeah, that's how she went to the club. And in her dress, she's got like this pocket at the front, and she's adamant that's where she had put her phone and the keys. And then she dandied in a handbag and the coat in at the cloakroom. I don't understand why the cloakroom only gave her a bag, not a jacket. And I can't understand how or why she would ask someone to look after her phone if she had somewhere to keep it. I don't know. My brain's boggled, but the main thing is she has now actually got her phone back. So that's one least thing to be worrying about, because, it would have been a case of having to ring up the network provider and getting it blocked and getting a new SIM card sent out to her and, having to buy her a new phone. But when it comes, well, like I've said to her, whether your jacket's found or not, that doesn't matter to me. That's materialistic. That can be easily replaced. And your key, not a problem. I've got a spare one. You can have that, and I'll just have to get mine cut again. So we've got another spare key just in case. But what has got me the most is the fact that the door staff at that club allowed my daughter to walk off on her own in a vulnerable state and just left her. She did say that two young men who acted in a very gentlemanly fashion did actually approach her and say, look, you shouldn't be walking home on your own. Is there anyone we can call for you? Because she was literally like, I need to get back in there. I haven't got my phone. I haven't got my keys. Let me back in. It just scares me what could have happened to her. It petrifies me because I really hoped I would never have to experience my daughter going through that kind of situation. When I was younger, I was sexually assaulted twice. I've been there. I know what it's like. The first time it happened, I was 16, And I wasn't dressed up to the nines or anything like that. I was actually wearing my care assistant uniform, so I was dressed literally looking like a nurse, proper nurse's uniform. And yet these animals decided to attack me on the bus, groping me, trying to push their hands up my skirts, and yeah, not a situation I expected myself to be in that night. The second time it happened, I just turned 18 and I was walking home after a night out with my friends, and this young lad that lived close to where I was living at the time recognised me and stopped in his car and offered me a lift back to the hostel I was living in at the time. I accepted it because I was like, oh, but I know who he is, so yeah, I should be safe. No, I wasn't. Took me to this factory unit, bit of a desolate car park, and thought he would have a go at trying to get what he wanted from me. I ended up hitting him so hard and literally throwing myself out of the car and running for my life. I remember getting back to the hostel, and at the time when it was happening, and my main concern was getting out of that car and getting the hell away from him. So obviously, I've just ran and I've ran and I've ran. When I got back to the hostel, I had to literally bang on the front doors for them to let me be back in. The woman that let me in automatically assumed I had been raped because my makeup was halfway down my face, it was literally everywhere. My dress had been torn, my tights had been shredded to bits. Not experiences that I like to recall or talk about. It happened in the past and I've learnt to get on with it. I just never thought I'd see the day when my daughter would have a similar situation happen to her. And like we were talking earlier, and I said, if you're ever in a situation like that and you've got your phone with you, please, you ring me and I will come. I will come. And knowing me, I'll probably go running out into the street, go looking for, I'll be there with a knife. I will slash the fuckers up. So, obviously, she ended up passing out because, like I said, she'd had a bit to drink, and I was sat there till about 6:30 in the morning, like thinking, shit, me, this could have been bad, really bad. I felt useless. I felt like I let her down. I wasn't there for my little girl. What was if something had have happened to her? Doesn't even bear thinking about. But I still cannot grasp what possesses people's heads. Like I said, I can't call them men and boys because they're not our animals. What possesses them to think that they can do that? We are not sexual objects. We are human beings. Yes, we've got breasts, and yes, we've got vaginas, and yes, we might look nice to look at, but I don't know. I mean, you hear about all these sexual harassment cases that are coming forward at the moment, and I'm not just saying it's men that do it, women do it as well. I'm not saying that women are innocent because we're not, but that was my little girl, and that crossed the line. The stupid thing is, Jess doesn't even like drinking anymore. She only agreed to have a few drinks because it was a friend's birthday, but she was encouraged to have shots, and as I explained to her, because she's on antidepressants at the moment, you do realise you're not meant to drink when you're taking antidepressants. She didn't know that. Doctor did not make her aware of that. But now she knows, so I've made her promise me that while she's still taking antidepressants, she will not drink alcohol at all. But I don't think she's going to drink for some time now. I think that really probably shit her up, and it's shit me up too. But I thank the gods above for bringing her home safe to me, because I know that there's some poor loves out there that haven't been as lucky. And I'll tell you, my heart goes out to them. How do they cope? I don't know. I know in some ways, because obviously what happened with me when I was younger, you learn to deal with it, I suppose. You learn to cope. You have to. Do you know, I can remember when I was her age and I lived up in Birmingham, and I used to walk around on my own late at night, and you didn't feel scared, didn't feel like anything was going to happen to you. It's just, times have changed, I guess. And I feel sorry for anybody that has to deal with this now or in the future. Just stay safe. Always make sure you've got your phone with you at all times. My advice would be, if you have no option, you know you've got to walk home, have one of those bloody alarms. Or do what I do, carry a machete in your bag. I don't, honestly. Well, even now, you know, it's getting dark, and normally when I make my own way home from work, I tend to do like a shortcut. Well, where I live, it's by Morrison's. I normally cut across the front of Morrison's and then go across the crossing over the A38. And then there's an alley on the other side, which I use as a shortcut to get home. It's got no lights, it's dark, but I have got a torch on my key, so I will be using that because I can't risk anything happening to me either. I mean, I'm a hard-nosed bitch. I can actually look after myself, but at the same time, I have to remind myself, you know, I'm not a spring chicken anymore. And although I am a strong old bitch, I can't be Superwoman forever. But it's unfair that us women have to think of that now. You know, even at 5 o'clock in the evening. Oh, I better not walk up that alley because it's dark and somebody might jump out and attack me. Whereas in the summer, when it's daytime, you don't have that issue. Just wanted to make it aware, you know, that this shit does actually happen, and when you least expect it to as well. I guess, you know, yeah, I am feeling a little bit emotional because I didn't get as much sleep as I hoped for. So my brain's a little bit frazzled. But as I said, I am just grateful that she came home safe to me, because to me that is all that matters. I don't care about the jacket. I don't care about the key. They're materialistic things. They can be very easily replaced. And, you know, she might be lucky. They might actually still be in a nightclub. I mean, we assumed we'd never see the phone again, but that's turned up. Oh, sorry guys. I mean, people watch vlogs here on YouTube. They always expect everything to be all loveliness and happiness, and no, I'm sorry, shit happens in life. No, she's just gone back out. She's going with her friend Liv to Croydon, go and pick some wheels up. So I won't just show what happened to her last night, but at least she seems a bit more like a normal self. And what can I say? It scared me stupid. And otherwise I can say it's, you know, you young uns and us old uns as well. It's shit that we still have to be aware of what's going on, our surroundings, whenever, you know, it's just wrong. It shouldn't be like that. And I wish I knew who those lads were. Well, I won't call them lads, they're animals. I wish I knew who they were. I want to hunt them down, because they have severely pissed me off. And I'd love to speak to the door staff at that nightclub and ask them, what the fuck possessed you to allow my daughter to walk off on her own? Anyway, as I said, I do apologise about this. Things can't always be all lovely and sunshine and fluffy clouds here on YouTube, because, as I said before, shit happens. Stuff like this really goes on and should be made aware so other people don't have to go through it themselves. And at the same time, people should be more there for each other. There should be more support. There should be more awareness. Animals like that need to be drowned at birth. Should have it made clear to them that they cannot treat a woman like that. I mean, shit me. What I don't get, because I tell you what, I've got a son myself. And I don't, you know, even if I have nothing to do with him, I know for a fact that I did not bring him up to treat women like that, and I know he doesn't. I know he doesn't. So what has drove these young animals, and even old animals that do it as well, what has possessed them? What has put that mind frame into the brains to make them think they can treat women like that? Baffles me, really, really does. So yeah, I'm going to conclude this now. If anyone else has ever experienced a similar situation, if you've ever encountered, being sexually assaulted yourself, talk to me. Maybe by talking and sharing, we can help each other and others as well at the same time. There's so many young girls out there that think, oh, that won't happen to me, and then it does. It does. And when it does, shit, fucks you up big time. As always, guys, if you enjoyed my vlog, let me know by leaving a thumbs up. Leave your comments down below, and if you're new to watching me, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and subscribe to me so you can watch more of my vlogs. I mean, my vlogs, I guess, are starting to become more about real life, what really happens out there, what goes on, not in my life, not just in my life, but in other people's lives as well. Things that, I experience in life, encounters that I come across. Because I think that's what YouTube should be about. It should be about people helping others. I mean, I watch some of the big named YouTubers and it's all about themselves and making money by selling their merchandise. And us small time YouTubers don't even seem to get a look in. We don't even seem to get onto people's notification pages, and people like myself and other small time YouTubers should be recognised more because we're more real. We understand what you guys that watch us are going through. So yeah, as I said, hit that subscribe button and join the sound war in creating chaos in this world of ours. And as I said with that, I'm now going to end this video, and I will do my October favourites next week. If I can find the time in the week to record it, then I will do. But if not, it will be next weekend. I'm hoping to do another spend the day kind of vloggy thing as well in the future, so I'm sure I will also find other random stuff to talk about, like this for example. This was not a planned vlog, it was just something, I wanted to talk, I wanted to get it off my chest, I wanted to share it with you, and hopefully get some good feedback on what happens, even if it's bad feedback, just something. I want to get the conversation flowing. So, take care of yourselves, and until I see you all again, I'm gone.